Hi, everybody. I hope you had a good weekend. It's April 19th, and I'm going to talk to you about what's going on for the week and give you some examples. So, we're going to be working on the response. Sometimes it's called a reaction part of the summary response assignment this week. I'm going to walk you through that in just a little bit. We're also going to be talking about inferences, what they are, how to make them, and that will come in a separate video. So for Wednesday or Thursday, you're going to have your rough draft of your response. And so I want to talk to you about what that is and how that will look like, what that will look like. Okay. Number 5 on the summary reaction handout or summary response handout talks a little bit about what the response or reaction is. Okay. I'm going to break it down even further. Okay. You're basically you are responding or reacting to what the author did or did not do well. You are responding or reacting to what the author did or did not do well. Okay. So for your response, which is going to be, a paragraph or 2 or 3 depending on how you set it up, you're going to start with telling me if it's worthy for research purposes and why. Remember whenever we first started this and we looked at the number 3, as you read the article, take note of sources, research, and experts. Okay. Here's where that's going to come into play. You're going to start off with a sentence that says, if this article is worthy, that should be worthy, for research purposes and why. And then you're going to discuss what the author did well or did not do so well in the rest of the article. You created the thesis statement, okay? And the author's goal for a thesis statement is to support and explain it. So you can talk about a couple of different things. You can talk about the effectiveness of the support. Did they support it well? Did they not support it well? You can talk about assumptions the author made in the article. You can talk about biases the author had. Did they look at it only through one lens? Did they look at both sides of the position? Did they contradict themselves when they wrote it? Did they say one thing earlier on and then sort of say the opposite? Did they omit parts of their argument or their position? Were there parts that they just did not talk about? So is it an incomplete development? Okay. Did they support it fully? Are there gaps? Is it organized weird? Is it difficult to follow their train of thought? Or did they do a great job at some of these? Okay. That's the focus of a response or a reaction, what the author did or did not do well. You can talk about your own experiences and your own prior knowledge only as a reaction or response to something the author did or didn't do. It is not, I think this way about the topic. It's not, here's my experience with the topic. Nope. You can talk about those, but only in response to what the author did or didn't do well. So only in response to one of these. An easy way to kind of lay it out in a graphic organizer is this. Okay? You're going to pick the first critique, what they did well or did not do well. Give me an example or two from the text, and then your response to it. And then a second thing they did well or didn't do well, an example or two from the text, and your response. And the third, example and response. You can do 3 or 4 of these in your response or reaction part. Okay? But it all comes back to what the author did or did not do well. Okay? So you're going to have a rough draft of this emailed to me with the subject of the email reaction draft by Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when your class meets. Okay, and then we'll talk about putting it all together into one complete paper. And then next week we'll be able to start our argument essay. Okay? So for Wednesday or Thursday, you're going to have a paragraph or 2 or 3 that is your draft of your reaction or your response. Okay, so look for a second video now that talks about inferencing. Take care.